Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be a video for people that are actually beginners at makeup or that are just kind of looking to get some product advice or maybe to get some recommendations. This video was requested by a good friend of mine named Danielle. Hi Danielle! She actually asked me if I would help her pick some makeups for people that don't really know where to start or don't know where to begin. She has a few friends that need kind of some guidance and I would love to, so that is what the video is based on. So maybe you don't need any guidance, so you don't have to watch, or if you want to find out some new recommendations, then you can watch that. A lot of these products you probably heard of, so I'm going to get right into it so this video isn't so long, but sorry I left my phone on. Anyways, so I'm going to start off, how I'm going to do it is just basically kind of show you something that I really recommend. These aren't like my holy grail products. I'll probably do a different video on my holy grail. I don't know if I have too many holy grail, to be honest. It took me a long time to kind of like gather my things and put everything out and then pick one thing and put it back. So I actually tried to get like an alternative version, so maybe those of you that don't want to spend $20 on an eye primer will have an alternative. So I'm going to start off with the moisturizer because that's the first thing I do in my daily routine. The moisturizer that I really love, I don't actually have because I ran out, is the Murad Oil Control Moisturizer. That is very good for oily, acne-prone skin. It works really good. It keeps me matte throughout the day, and I don't have to touch up as often. Some days I'll have to touch up, but then there's days that I don't have to touch up, so I really love that. Take in mind, I know everybody doesn't really like moisturizer and don't really want to use a moisturizer. Even if you have oily skin, you should probably use a moisturizer only because it does help control your oil. It isn't going to completely make it not be there. That's just how your skin is, but it will help control it, and it also helps with any wrinkles or premature wrinkles and any fine lines. It just keeps your skin really healthy. So not using moisturizer I feel like when I don't use a moisturizer, my skin looks like it's like really old looking. Does that make sense? Anyways, I know a lot of people don't really like moisturizers, but personally I do. So the one that I have been using since that one ran out is the Take a Deep Breath by Philosophy. I just picked up a sample to see if I liked it, and I do like it. It is a little bit more greasy than the Murad one. The Murad one's just kind of like a light moisturizer and you can feel it. It just dries really quickly, so you know that it's going to be kind of like a mattifying moisturizer. This one's a little bit more oily. It does get a little, I do get more oily in my T-zone than I do with the Murad one. But I like it. I like the cooling effect that it gives, but I would probably just stick with my Murad one since some days I don't have to touch up at all. And then with this, I always have to touch up. So it's just not for me because of my oily skin. It's supposed to help with oil control, but it doesn't as much as the Murad one, at least for me. So take in mind, whatever your skin type is doesn't mean it's going to work for you just because it works for me. And even if it does work for me and you have the same skin type, it might not work for you still. Just take in mind. And Sephora is really great about giving you samples of whatever you want, so just tell them your skin type and they'll give you a sample of it. Also with foundations, they'll do the same thing, so you can get the right color match, and you can always return things if you do purchase something and it isn't your right color, even if they may have picked it out for you. Sometimes they're wrong and you can always return stuff, so that's a good thing on higher end makeup because you can return them. I know sometimes you can return like drugstore stuff, but I've never returned drugstore stuff, so I don't know where you can return it. I don't know. A lot of people said you couldn't, so I never tried. I wish I did because I have a lot that I need to get rid of. As far as a eye cream, I know a lot of people don't use an eye cream, and I really recommend using an eye cream too, only because it will help with any premature wrinkles or help with like soothing your eyes or whatever you might have. You don't want to age under your eyes. Sometimes it scares me when you see these people that have like really bad wrinkles, and I'm not saying like they didn't use a cream, they might have, but maybe it just makes me feel better. Anyways, this is the Bobbi Brown Extra Repair Eye Cream. I love the way it feels. It feels so moisturizing even on my oily eyelids. It just feels so nice and so good. On days, I don't usually wear this at night, but some days if I had a lot of makeup on or something, I just want to give my face like feel real good, I'll just lather this on, cake it on, and it feels so nice. So I really like that. I don't really have a lower end of that one just because I don't even know what other one that I used. The Revia Lab one is a nice one, which I'll put in the info box. It's a little bit less expensive. Other than that, I can't really think of any off the top of my head. Now on to makeup primers. A makeup primer, I actually didn't use makeup primer until I started YouTube videos. I didn't really know there was a makeup primer, which is very common for a lot of people. A lot of people don't realize that there's makeup primers, so don't feel stupid if you don't know what a lot of these things are just because you don't know, it's fine. Makeup primer is really good to help your foundation last, and it also is really good to help fill in any fine lines or if you have really enlarged pores, which I do right here and on my nose. So this kind of fills in your larger pores, and it doesn't like necessarily shrink them, but it fills them in so they look and appear smaller. If you wear a highlight like me and love wearing a highlight like me, then it kind of intensifies your larger pores. So if I put that on, it doesn't really intensify it as much and makes it look like my pores like the size of my eye. So again, even if you don't have larger pores, it is still really nice because not only does it make your foundation last a little longer, not necessarily, but that's the job it's supposed to. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it also kind of makes your foundation go on a lot smoother. So I think it's worth a try. You can't really knock it and say, oh my god, I don't want to put on all these things. I know it's a lot of steps to do, but at least try it and see the way maybe you'll like the way your foundation turns out better. I really like the way my foundation turns out better, and I feel like it lasts a lot longer when I do have a primer on. And the primer that I have been using is the Revia Labs makeup primer. This is really great, and it does keep my skin pretty matte. I know some primers, since they are a little bit like silicone oily based, they do kind of bring out more, make my skin a little bit more oily. You just gotta get the right one. So don't get discouraged if you try the wrong one or anything, but I definitely like this one. It does a really good job of keeping me not as matte, it doesn't get like oily, and it does fill in my fine lines, and it does make my makeup last a longer. An alternative is the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. This I don't like as much because I feel like it does kind of get me a little bit oily. But it does fill in my fine lines and it makes my foundation look a lot better. So I do like those. And now on to foundations. Foundations are the one thing that I would say I think everybody should maybe spend a little bit more money on, because it is, I mean, without having your face looking nice, you probably won't feel like as confident, and your face might look like a real hot mess if you look like have your eye makeup all done, look good, and then your face is just, your foundation looks real cakey or nasty. It just kind of throws it all off. So foundation is one thing that I really recommend if you don't want to spend much money on all the other products. Definitely try and get a nice foundation. There are nice drugstore foundations, don't get me wrong, don't say like, oh, you have to have a high-end foundation. There are some nice drugstore foundations, but if you're kind of in a rut and you just can't find anything that really looks good for your skin, and you've just tried all these drugstore foundations, then I would definitely try to get a higher end foundation. It just depends on what type of skin type you are, and again, Sephora or MAC could always help you out with that. So, and they kind of help you out with the color match. If you're looking for a dewy finish, I really like the Makeup Forever HD foundation. I love this when you film, or if you're taking photos, or if you have like a big event or something like that. It looks really, really good in photographs and in filming. As far as up in person, it does look good in like dewy and luminous, but I don't think that it looks as great as another foundation in person. But I really like the way it looks, and when you film with it, it's pretty nice. So I really, really like this, and the luminous look is actually really pretty. On days that it's not as humid, I'll wear this. On days that it is a little bit more humid, I will wear the Smashbox Studioskin 15-hour wear. It's not 15-hour wear, and don't let those misleading things, makeup's never supposed to last that long. Anyways, it does do a good job, and it is a little bit more of a fuller coverage foundation. A lot of the foundations are buildable, and if you don't know what that means, sheer is a foundation that's just light, and it kind of evens out your skin, but you can still see your skin through it. Medium coverage is a little bit more heavier coverage. It doesn't necessarily feel heavier. Some of them obviously do, but sometimes it doesn't. It just kind of covers up if you need a little bit more coverage. Full coverage is, it will cover up anything and everything, scarring, acne, whatever. And that's a lot of times what I like. A lot of foundations can be medium and then can be builded, and it still looks really good, and it doesn't look like cakey or anything. So you could like have light around here, and then if you need a little bit more, you put it here, and it doesn't look like uneven or anything, which a lot of foundations might. So I definitely recommend these two. As far as a lower end foundation, I am loving, I love the Revlon Color Stay Foundation liquid form. I've purchased this so many times, I can't even count how many times, because I really like this, and it's a cheap alternative to any of those, and it covers anything and everything. It's a fuller coverage foundation. It does feel a little bit more heavier, and it does transfer pretty bad, but I really like it, especially like if you just kind of want your confidence and your skin's looking really bad, this will cover anything. So I like that. And something that I've been obsessed with is the Revlon foundation. It's the whipped foundation, and this is really good. Again, it doesn't feel heavy, and it keeps me matte but I know a lot of people have a love-or-hate relationship with it, so it's just based, I guess, on your personal preference and your skin type and how your skin kind of reacts to it. So again, you gotta try like different ways of applying. You can use like a flat top, you can use a beauty blender. There's a lot of different ways when you apply your foundation that could make it look better depending on your skin type. So keep that in mind. And now onto eyelid primers. Of course I love the Urban Decay eyelid primer, but nothing beats the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. This is amazing. It's just a skin flesh tone color. So if you have like any redness, this kind of evens it out and makes it look nice, and it keeps your eyeshadow lasting all day. I love this. It's my favorite thing. I like the Urban Decay one, and they're pretty much the same in price-wise, but that one's a little bit more greasier, and some days, if I don't apply enough of it, it does crease. My eyeshadow will crease, or I'll have my eyeliner in my crease, and it will look all weird. So I do like this, and I don't notice like creasing or anything as long as you use enough of it. An alternative, if you don't want to spend $20, is the e.l.f. eyelid primer. I don't think it is as good at all as those ones, because I do find on times that it's just really oily and it does not do any justice, and it will crease and it will have my eyeliner everywhere, and so I don't think that it is as great. I definitely would try on days that, like, if you have oily lids, that it's not like real humid, so maybe it will work, but other than that, I'm obsessed with the MAC one. And now onto eyeshadows. Of course, this is gonna be easy. And it is the Urban Decay Naked Palettes. These I highly recommend. If you like cooler toned eyeshadows, then I would recommend the Naked 2. If you like warmer toned eyeshadows, then I would recommend the Naked 1. And if you don't know what looks best on you, maybe you should just get something else that has both cool and warm, and I would recommend the Sedona Lace. This is the 88 warm palette, 88 neutral palette. It's one of those. I'll put it in the info box, and I do have a coupon code I think that is still available, but this is nice because it does have both warmer and cooler tones. But I definitely recommend the Urban Decay palettes over anything, because I use that on an everyday basis, not only for my eyes but for my eyebrows, and I just think that they both have like some amazing colors. And if you don't really want to get both palettes, then you can also do like the build your own palette and then pick your own colors and choose those. But each of them comes with quite a few colors. I'm sure all of you've seen them, so I'm not going to really go over them, but I definitely recommend those. If you don't have that, then I don't even know how your life even exists. I'm just kidding, but I'm obsessed with those. I couldn't live without those. Another eyeshadow that I love, and I think that everybody should own, especially if you're a beginner, and this is the 24-hour L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow, and this is an iced latte. And yeah, you're just like, okay, it's cool, it's plain eyeshadow. Well, this looks really good all over your lid. It looks so good as a highlight in your inner corner and under your brow bone. So this is a very versatile product, and I love it if you haven't played around with a highlight. You can always use this and just put it right here and kind of just blend it and highlight on your cheekbone, and you can put it down on your nose. So it's a very versatile product. So if you're beginner makeup and you don't really have a highlight or anything, then I definitely would recommend this because you can use it everywhere. But I love this. And it's not expensive, especially since you can use it everywhere. And now on to a few mascaras that I think that everyone should try. One is the L'Oreal Voluminous eyeshadow mascara. I know some people say they hate it, but this is the only one that I have repurchased as much as I have. I just love the wand on it. It's just nothing special, and the formula isn't too wet and it's not too dry, which I like. So this is really great. It does make your eyelashes, it does lengthen them, but it does not make them fuller at all. So I think it's nice. I love the formula, and it's not inexpensive at all. Another one is another drugstore one. I don't find mascara is one thing that I don't find is all that I don't get. I'm not too impressed by the higher end ones, so I'll spend drugstore quality and think that they're just as good. So if you're willing to spend $20 on them, yeah, there's some nice ones, but then again, there's some that are just drugstore. So mine are all drugstore ones, the ones that I really like. Next one is a Maybelline Mega Plush Volume mascara. This actually does a pretty good job at making them fuller, and it does a pretty good job at lengthening. So it does both, but not as good as this one. This one lengthens a lot better, for me at least. And mine are both in black. That's the only thing I use is black, black, black. I like brown sometimes, but I like black. So I have a few eyeliners for those of you that like cream and those of you that like the liquid, and those of you that just like the normal ones. My first eyeliner is actually just a pencil eyeliner, and this I love, love, love. I used to like those like retractable ones that you just roll up and you don't have to sharpen or anything, but those never last. This lasts a really long time. It's pretty dark. I know a lot of pencil ones, they're not as dark as you like, but this one's pretty dark and I like it a lot. It's a lot darker than like my e.l.f. cream eyeliner, which I'll get into. I feel like sometimes that doesn't look as dark, so I have to go over it with this. So I really like this, and it lasts you a really long time, and it's just a regular black pencil. And it doesn't like get, you know, sometimes when you wear eyeliner it gets like, looks like it smears. Well, it doesn't, especially because under my eyes is pretty oily. As far as liquid eyeliners, I don't really like liquid eyeliners as much as I do as the pencil eyeliners, but I really think and recommend, if I had to choose, the Revlon, what is this? Color Stay liquid eye pen, especially if you're a beginner and you never used an liquid eyeliner, because it has a ballpoint pen, so it's easy and really user-friendly to actually apply it, because I suck at applying liquid eyeliner. Other than that, I really think that the Urban Decay is pretty nice. I do notice that it does wear off on like really hot, humid days, or if I'm like, I don't know, my eyes kind of oily or something. I just feel like it wears off. This one does the same thing, the L'Oreal one, or the NYC one, but it's really cheap. So, and I like how dark they get. If you're looking for like a precise line, or you're trying to wing out your eyeliner, I definitely recommend these two. And then as far as cream eyeliners, I'm loving this Bobbi Brown one, and I've always loved it. I've loved it since I used it, and I always probably will have it. But it's just so nice, and it's so creamy, and it's so black, and it will last all day, and it won't budge at all. An alternative is the e.l.f. one. It is pretty dark, and it does lasts a pretty decent amount of time, but I noticed that as the day goes on, it's not as dark. That Bobbi Brown one, it looks dark from the point you put it on until the point you take it off. This one kind of wears off a little bit, but it's still pretty nice. It's inexpensive. It's $3, and if you're just getting into liquid or cream eyeliner, you want to try it. I think it's a great alternative. It's pretty similar. It's creamy. It's nice. It's easy to apply. It's the only thing, it's a lot easier than a liquid eyeliner for me, but love that. For eyebrows, I always think that eyebrows are like the center of attention. Other than your face and your foundation, your eyebrows really stand out. I don't know, I feel like when you have your eyebrows filled in, it makes you look more complete and more polished. Some of you might not really like to fill in your eyebrows, but I think that it's a step that you shouldn't skip. Well, that's just me. And the thing that I love is this e.l.f. this MAC spiked eyebrow pencil. This is great. It lasts you forever. It's perfect. And I love drawing just underneath of my brows. And I did a brow routine, which I switched it up again, but I'll link it down below. I'm still using this though, and I really, really like it. It matches me pretty nice, and it just, you can get the line, because a lot of times your eyebrows aren't like perfect, so you can actually like draw them perfect and then fill them in so that they don't look all like straggly and weird and whatever. And the sun, look at the sun, hello, blinding me. I look like a ghost. As far as filling them in, I love this e.l.f. eyebrow kit. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love this. Like, it's so nice. It's $3, especially if you're a beginner. To try this out, you got to get your right color though, because they have a bunch of different colors, and I have tried one that doesn't look good at all. This is nice because I put the creamier kind right in the center and go back with it, and then I'll put the whole thing, like this brown color, on my whole brows, but then I'll put only a light color right in the front so that it doesn't look so dramatic. And the brow rule, it's not really a rule anymore. It's just trends keep changing and whatever. Do whatever you want. I know the rule was if you have dark hair, you go 2 shades lighter, and if you have light hair, you go 2 shades darker, vice versa. But there's new trends, and now brows are trendy, is having real dark ones, so who knows, do whatever you want. But as far as to set your brows, and I know people are like setting all these routine, once you do it, it won't take as long if you do it after a while. It is like a lot. To set your brows, I really think that this Great Lash Maybelline stuff is really nice. It's just a clear mascara, and it just works as good as my Annabelle one. It's a little bit more wet consistency. The Annabelle one was a little bit drier, but it dried like real crusty. So I think that's great. It's only a few dollars too. And now onto concealer. You know that I love concealer, and it's just like a necessity, especially if you have acne and you need to put it under your eyes and kind of brighten it up and stuff. So the concealer I like for acne spots One is this Urban Decay, which is on sale right now, so check it out. It's the NSA Urban Decay pencil. And I don't think it's as hygienic as it looks, so you gotta clean it every once in a while because you keep putting on the same stuff. And it doesn't last as long throughout the day unless you set it, but I really like it. The coverage and the color of it, it makes it look really flawless, and you can't even tell. It camouflages real nicely. Another one that I love is the Skin Miracle one, which is a little bit more pricey, and this one is the Treat and Conceal all over your face and skin, eyes, whatever. Instantly conceals darkness and redness. It treats and corrects and covers any problem areas, and it has a natural plant complex, powerful antioxidants. So it's really nice, and it actually treats them. So that's why I like this, because it treats them, treats your acne. Other than that, it's pretty nice. This one is light and medium. It's actually like real fuller coverage, so it gives you a nice coverage, a little bit more wet, and it has like a silicone-based ingredient in it, so you definitely have to like let it dry before you put anything else on it, because it'll just be like all over. Other than that, I love this sheer cover concealer duo that I got in my glam bag. Like, I'm obsessed with this. This I use under my eyes. I don't only use this under my eyes. I actually use like 2 other ones under my eyes, but I love this. I use this every day. This is my favorite concealer. It's very, very creamy, and I like it a lot. I use the darker one just in between my, right into the corners, just because my corners of my eyes do look a little bit lighter than my face, so I just kind of camouflage it so it's not so bright in there. And I love this. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I'm gonna always have to have that. And now, as far as a bronzer, which this is probably holy grail, and I just got this too, so I am obsessed with it. And this is the Betty Lou bronzer, and what is it called? The Betty Lou Manizer. And it's just a really nice bronzer, but you hardly need any product. This kind of reminds me of the Benefit bronzer, which I love the Hoola bronzer, but this is so much better because it kind of has like a highlight in it, and it's just like you hardly need any, and you can contour with this, and it will probably last me a really long time, and it's so beautiful. I love, love, love this to contour with. It is so pretty, and I highly recommend this. And if you don't know what contouring is, it's just kind of shadowing your face and kind of giving your face like dimension and making it look more defined. And if you need help with doing that, I'll do a video on that soon too. But I just like how you hardly need any product for that. With like my MAC one, I have to like go in there a few times to actually get it. But that, you hardly need any, and you're good to go. A highlight. Contouring and highlighting is something that I cannot not do. It just really makes your face complete and really defines it, and I just think it looks so good. I cannot not highlight. I think everybody needs to highlight. I always tell my mom, you need to highlight and contour. She doesn't know what it means, but I want to show her, and she never lets me. Anyways, this is another balm product, and this is the Mary Lou Manizer, and this is so pretty. It reminds me of that L'Oreal eyeshadow I was talking about. Look at that. This is gorgeous. It is the prettiest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe I've never tried this before. I love this just to highlight on the top of your cheekbones, down your nose, and your cupid's bow, on your eyebrows. It looks so beautiful. You need to try it. And I actually forgot one, so I'm just going to talk about it now. A powder. I don't have any powder except this one that I use. This is the only one I use, and this is the Nars Mountain. I love this because it's a little bit darker, so it looks good with my foundation because it kind of evens it out and makes it look nice. But it covers nicely and doesn't look cakey, it doesn't look chalky, and it's pretty mattifying. So I really, really love this, and it's probably like my favorite thing, and it's just so dirty. But this is probably my holy grail powder. I'm obsessed. Okay, as far as blushes, and this is the final, I'll probably do, I don't have any lipsticks or anything. I do have lipsticks, but I don't really think this video is going to be too long if I did lips products. So lip products is just your personal preference. I'll do like favorites and something of that, but blushes. I don't know why more people don't wear blushes. A lot of people say they're intimidated by blush just because there's so many colors, it's just overwhelming. Well, blush is really fun. You can play around with it and kind of see what looks good for you and looks good best on you with your skin tone and your skin type, hair color. So if you don't know where to start, I recommend getting a palette because you have all the colors and you can try them trial by error and see what just fits you with your eye color and your hair color and what you really like. So I definitely recommend getting a blush palette so that you're not getting so many blushes, so then you know what kind of blushes you can get. This I love by Costal Scents. This is the 10 blush palette, and it has a lot of different colors. It's not as pigmented, of course, as a lot of other blushes, but it works and it does the job, especially if you're a newbie and you don't know what would really suit you. I think this would really be a great a great item to purchase because it does have all these colors that you can play with. So I really recommend this, and I like this. I use this pretty often. I pull it out on days that I'm like in a rush or something, but I like this, and the quality of them it's nice, but it's not like the nicest. If you're willing to spend a little bit more money, or you just a blush that, oh man, a blush that I like literally can't live without, if I had to pick one blush, would definitely have to be the Nars Sin Blush. I know it's a little bit more pricey, but the pigmentation and the quality, and this baby will last me probably my whole life. I just love this. I know it looks really dark and it looks kind of crazy and a little bit more intimidating than your other colors, but believe me, this looks so good. You hardly need any product, one. And once you apply it and blend it, it looks so beautiful with a smoky eye, with like a neutral eye. It looks really good. It's my most reached for blush. And if I just don't know what to wear, I'll just pull out that baby. So that is all of my products for beginners, or products that I recommend for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want any other videos like this, definitely put it in the comments down below so that I can make it for you or film it for you. Sometimes I don't know what I should film or what you guys want to see. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you later.